All right, so, screen share here. I do not have the phone going. Here, just a second. Sorry. All right. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you for those of you joining on the line, and we are going to get rolling here. Let's look at some kudos right away here. All right, so this is a cloquet page by Tim, and I feel like I've got such a smaller screen today because I'm working off the laptop, but nice use of the really kind of making it a superhero theme here on the cloquet page. Love that. Really talking about nutrition and making it a fun centerpiece. So nice work, Tim. Here we've got one from Tanner for Dickinson. And again, a nice centerpiece here. Great centerpiece photo to work with. That's fun. And we've got a nice sky box up at the top. It's just a really clean looking page, really nicely balanced. You've got art bringing you all the way down the page, so nice work, Tanner. Here's a sports cover by Bob, and this was a great page. Bob did note that he's pretty sure that the player here, if you'll notice, it really looks like the player is looking directly at the photographer and giving him a thumbs up. Apparently there's some debate about that in the Brainerd newsroom, but great looking photo and a really nicely laid out page. So nice work, Bob. Here we've got a Duluth page, and this one's one of Dave Nevinen's. And another great photo. Quite a scrimmage going on there on the ice. And well played with the headline as well. That's great. So another nicely laid out page. Again, you've got some breakouts there. We've got label heads that are really bringing the eye in and bringing the reader in. So nicely done, Nev. This is the forum's Thanksgiving cover that Sarah Slaby did, And she had, let's see, it's 10 photos that she had to attempt to cram onto the cover in the space allotted. And you can see that she had an enormous ad at the top of the page to work around, and then another one at the bottom in the corner. So she didn't have a lot of space to work with, but it was a nice features package that the forum put together for that big Thanksgiving Day paper, and a really nice design. You can see she just had some nice little labels under all of these architectural wonders of the Fargo-Moorhead area. So nicely done, Sarah. This was one that got some compliments not only from the editors in Duluth, but also from the gardening group, it sounded like. This is one that Becca did for Duluth for their home page. It was on a gardening gift guide, and she just did a fantastic job. Lots of little pieces, lots of tidbits there. That's something that that is just, I miss doing those types of pages with all of the art and little bits to work with, and she did a great job. It's very readable and really nicely balanced as well. So nicely done, Becca. Here we've got one from Tanner again, and we do have some duplicates this week because we didn't meet last week, so we've got a couple pages from a few of you. This is one for the Herald by Tanner, and great use of the, just a stock photo, but then Tanner just played it up just a little bit here with the lines, the gray lines through the centerpiece package. Just dresses it up a little bit. It's not even color, but it really helps bring the eye down and tie that whole package together. So nicely done, Tanner. I'm going to close a few of these here. All right, we've got a few more here yet. So we've got a forum sports page, another one from Sarah Slaby, and this is one of our bison are always big here in Fargo, so a bison package. She's got the bison yellow breakout in the centerpiece. You see that she's got both a centerpiece story and the columnist below, and tied that all together really well. So, and nicely done main photo package up there as well, bringing the cut line right up into the photo as well in some of the, I don't want to say dead space, but not a lot going on in that one corner there. So well done. And it's the bison again. This one's a page by Jackie. Jackie's been doing a lot of these Sunday bison sports pages. And this is another great looking one. And again, she's always got those two columnists for the Sunday sports page. And so it's been nice to see how she's dealt with that. When you always have that big photo and two columnists, how she plays them each week. So nicely done, Jackie. I like that. And here's a fun one. This one's one from Joe. He did this one for the forum for their life cover, and fun photos for sure here. And love how he overlapped the little girl's head right into the life folio there, and just a little bit of air there around the centerpiece package. Nicely done, Joe. And here's one from Brandon, another University of Minnesota hockey page here, and or UMD, sorry, Duluth hockey page here, and another great photo to work with, and nice big bold main headline there, really grabs your attention, and then a nice down page package here as well, you know, with the Vikings story photo and breakout there down at the bottom. Nicely done, Brandon. And here is one. This is a Dickinson sports page, and this is one from Jackie. And this is a really fun page here. More of a sports feature, but she really played it throughout the entire page. She made the folio work into it. She's got the school colors there, right in the photo, in the headline, and breaking apart the drop head from the rest of the story as well. So nice looking page there, Jackie. Excellent. All right, I think that is all of our kudos. So I'm just going to run through a couple of things. Since it's been a couple of weeks here, we'll just wanted to talk about what's going on recently. Just a few little things that some editors have asked us to pass along. One was kind of an oddball thing, but the editor of Mitchell asked that we make sure that they never run any check passing photos, you know, the ones with, the happy posed photos with somebody passing a check to another person. As I did point out to him, we wouldn't run it if they hadn't given it to us, but they had a new reporter in who took that photo and attached it, so we ended up using a check photo. They prefer that we don't. I've put it in our notes. I told them that we would that I would pass it along to you all. But again, like I told the editor there, we wouldn't use it if they hadn't given it to us. So it's kind of on them on that one. Make sure that when you're pulling those standing heads out of a library, or if it's one that you're copying from the page, make sure that you're changing those to accurately reflect what the content is in that little package. You know, our standing heads in the library say briefs, which frequently is what we need, but occasionally, you're running something else. It's some sort of calendar or a quartz roundup or whatever. Make sure that you are changing those so that they're accurate. I know that they slip through occasionally with the wrong header, and sometimes it's kind of unfortunate, the text that is used above them. So you don't want to have like an accidents standing head above obituaries or vice versa, things like that. So those kinds of things do occasionally slip through, and so we really want to be watching stuff like that. We had an instance just this week where some jumps did not get on a page, and in talking with the copy editors about it, the pages had been sent at the same time, so the copy editors really should have been double checking them. Clearly it started with the designer, so we had the mistake on the design side, but we do hope that copy editors would catch that. But as they said, a lot of times our jump pages are not labeled in page track. Some of the smaller papers have jump pages that are labeled on the dummies and therefore labeled in page track, but a lot of them are not. And so we'd like to encourage you guys all to obviously be double checking your own jumps. You guys should all be doing that before you send pages. But if you're going to be sending pages where they're kind of split up, where you're sending A1 before your jump pages or vice versa, please put a note in the HIP chat room for the copy desk saying, hey, these pages, Mitchell A 8 and 9 jump pages are in now, A1's coming soon, I double checked all of the jumps. Or that you would give them what those paragraphs are, how they should be ending or beginning on those jump pages, so that the copy editors can double check that and get those pages out. We don't really want to be holding up a lot of pages, especially close to deadline, but at the same time we need to make sure that that those jumps are accurate. So again, this really is a designer responsibility. We need to make sure that we are doing our pages and our jumps correctly, but this will help them double check our work. We've talked about this before, about trimming down like Annie's mailbox or other similar columns with Q&As. Make sure that you are reading through before you trim those Q&As. Don't just assume that if it's a subhead or a bolded spot, you can just cut from there on and you're fine. I think if you've ever read Annie's mailbox for any length of time, you'll see that sometimes they are referencing an old column. So we want to make sure that we actually ran that old column. Or, a couple of months ago I talked about how one of the columns referenced that, and in tomorrow's paper we'll be talking about this, except then we didn't run it in the next day's column because it didn't fit well. So we want to be really careful about those types of things. And sometimes they want a rerun of like a poem or something that ran in an old column. This week we had one where a reader asked for a certain column. They said, yes, we'd be happy to reprint it. And we cut what was supposed to be reprinted. So make sure you are reading through the portion before you trim it. We've got to make sure that we're doing this accurately. It makes the paper look really bad. The readers think that, unfairly, it makes the readers think that those editors and reporters at that newspaper are knuckleheads, and it was our mistake. So please be careful in doing that sort of stuff. I've been seeing a fair number of column SIGs that are being placed up near or next to headlines. Column SIGs should always be within the text. They shouldn't be up against headlines. If your headline is too short and you're using a column SIG to fill that space, please. Like I said, the column SIG should always be in the text. If it's a vertical one, it should either be, if it's a single column, like a rail sort of column, you want to tuck it under the drop cap about 3 lines, and either on the left or right side, whichever is just fine. If you're using a vertical one in multiple columns, you want to center that right between the first 2 columns. If you're using one of the horizontal column SIGs, you want to put that generally at the top of the second column of text. So they should not be ever at the, above the first column. They should not be next to the headlines. So please keep that in mind as you're running column SIGs. We've got the holidays coming up, as I'm sure you are all well aware. The managers and I have all been working hard to make sure that we've got coverage for the holidays. All three of your team leaders should be reaching out to all of you to confirm whether you are working those holidays. Remember that Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve are not holidays. They are not paid holidays. So unless you have specifically requested that off and your supervisor has said, yes, you've got it off, do not assume that you have those days off. Please confirm, look at the calendar. If anything looks funny, please touch base with your team leader and make sure that you know whether you're working or not and what shift you're working. We do not use any dayside. We don't have anybody working dayside on the actual holidays on Christmas Day or New Year's Day. So those will be night shifts, even if you're normally a day shift person. Our Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, those days are going to be pretty busy, especially in the mornings. Those are Mondays, and a lot of our Tuesday deadlines got moved up to Monday, so we are going to be really busting our butts Friday afternoons all the way through the weekend to deal with those early deadlines on Monday, those Monday mornings. So be prepared for heavy page loads on those Fridays and through the weekends leading up to the holidays. We are working hard, we're hopefully, I suspect a lot of our weekly papers will be smaller. All of the Rivertown's papers will be single sections, so it won't be quite as heavy a load as normal, but we will be busy, so please make sure that you know exactly when you're working and confirm that on the calendars. Just to kind of give you guys an update on our open positions, I have made 2 job offers and I'm waiting to hear back from both of the candidates as to whether or not they will be taking those positions. I don't expect that we are going to get anybody in before the first of the year. We're right up against the holidays. And then even once we get them in, clearly it takes a while to get folks trained in. So, we managers are all expecting that we're going to have at least a month yet of, really probably being short-staffed. And then, it will take a couple of months to get new designers trained in. So please reach out to us if you are feeling overwhelmed by the amount of work that you're doing. I know that a lot of you are taking on heavier page loads. I know that a lot of you are doing pages that you normally don't do. Some of you are pitching in and helping out with newspapers that are not on your teams, so you're not used to doing them, and I appreciate that. I so appreciate that. Thank you to all of you who have volunteered to, do different things than you normally do, who have volunteered to stay late if we need to, or take on some overtime. But please do keep us notified, if you are just really getting overwhelmed, because I do not want to burn any of you out. I don't want to burn out our, the team leaders, especially Joe and Cole at night. The night team, you guys are shorter staffed, and so please reach out if you're feeling overwhelmed, and we will do our best to help you out. Back with the holidays, keep an eye on deadlines. We have, occasionally we get deadline changes. The latest one is the Brainerd Sunday C section, which used to print at 6:30 on Fridays, is now going to be 5 p.m. I've made those changes in PageTrack. Really keep an eye on PageTrack on your deadlines that are listed in there. And as we get into the holidays, I have to manually change all of those deadlines. We managers manually change them all. So please keep an eye on the deadlines in PageTrack. We will also be sending out amended deadlines in the morning emails. I'll also send out our spreadsheet with all of the deadlines with my crazy color coding on it. Just so you guys can double check if something looks funky, or if you just want to confirm at the beginning of your shift. I would really appreciate that, because like I said, it all has to be manually changed to those new deadline times. So I don't mind you guys double checking and making sure that I haven't screwed something up. So, okay, I think that is it from me. Seems like that was plenty. So, does anybody have any questions or concerns that they want to throw out in the chat there before we wrap up? All right, I'm seeing silence there in the chat. So, thank you all for joining me. Again, I appreciate you guys bearing with me while we had to change plans right at the beginning there. And I don't know if we'll have a meeting next Thursday because of the holidays. We may not meet for a couple of weeks. So if we don't, I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season, however you celebrate that. And again, please take care of yourselves the next couple of weeks. Try to stay healthy and rested. I know that's hard at this time of year, but keep yourselves well. Travel safely if you're traveling. So take care, and we will. You'll be hearing from me plenty, I'm sure, over the next couple of weeks via email. So thank you all. Bye-bye.